Hey everybody, welcome to an episode of Entropia content. It's been a long time since I've done any Entropia content, been dying to do it. Finally got some of the technical issues worked out that I was having with my computer. I think I jinxed it pretty good there. No, but I'm doing this recording offline just to see how everything goes. Maybe I'll be doing a live stream soon. Yeah, in today's content, what I want to do before I leave is show everyone what it's like to own a shop in Entropia. I don't know, there's probably a few videos like this already, but I figured I'd give my perspective because I've owned shops for quite a few years, been buying and selling shops, and I've even lost track of how many shops I've had, so I'll try to remember and give you guys a glimpse of what I do remember. Now here, if you're wondering where the hell I am, this is the teleporter on FOMA. And if anyone's interested into being like an entry-level shop person, like, hey, I want to get my first shop, see what it's like. Some people recommend doing the route of getting an apartment building or loading it with shopkeepers. Or you could just buy one of the Omegaton booths or whatever that's in the lobbies of the apartments, which you don't need shopkeepers, it's just a booth that you can run. But as you can imagine, the foot traffic on both of those types of shops is very low. So what I recommend doing, if you're in the market to buy your first shop, is FOMA is far away, it's in space, in orbit around Calypso. But check out this. This is like one of the terminals if you want to buy a shop. First you come and check out the terminal to see what your shop has that you're looking at. You can see my name here. It's listed as the shop manager because this is the shop that I own. It's FOMA Shop 27. I think I bought this one about a year ago. My plan was to buy it for around $2,000 and then resell it for maybe $4 to $10,000 ped. So depending on how long you keep shops, the value can change. And people always wonder too, like, isn't that a little bit huge margin to buy and resell? Well, usually shop owners are people that have been splurging, like they have tons of ped that they want to spend, so that's why they're looking for a shop. So you don't really have to worry about like putting super low prices for someone buying a shop. The ideal time that you need low prices is when you go to buy one, so that people don't overcharge you. So I usually try to pick it up off the auction, because then you don't have to do a lot of haggling in person. Well, zero haggling. Yeah, and the advantage to going with these FOMA shops is it's around the same price that you're going to pay to set up a shopkeeper in an apartment. Like, holy shit, the way shopkeepers are priced right now, I think they're around 3,000 to 4,000 ped each. So shit, that's going to cost you way more than going this route. Like really, you could just buy this FOMA shop and boom, you got look how many items you're going to get, 200. That's a good start for shops. Like if you want to buy a cheap Omegaton booth, you're looking at like maybe 20 to 30 items that you can put for sale. This one has 200. So here's a lot of the other stuff that it says about owning a shop. Max number of guests. I don't believe I've ever had that many customers in a shop before to ever test it. I think the most I used to have was Emerald Lakes when I used to have a shop in the mall there. And I would get maybe, I don't know, maybe 7 people in the shop at once. And that was like during peak times. Well, that was including me. I used to would run a pawn shop similar there. I don't think pawn shops are legal in Entropia, but what I would do is I would just offer a buying service for really cheap, but steady. So people would go out hunting and looting, and then they would have to get rid of some loot, and then instead of going to Twin, they could just come to my shop and sell. And depending what they had, I would just buy it from them for cheap, put it on my shop shelves for maybe double the price that I bought it from them, depending on what the rate is or how much their item was worth. And it seemed like ridiculous that it wouldn't work, but no, a lot of people would still come into the shop when they went to sell stuff and see stuff they like and buy it. So I had a steady flow going of customers at Emerald Lakes. And I think I bought that shop for around, I don't know, 6,000 ped, and then I managed to resell it for around 30,000 ped. So there was quite a bit of markup difference with, like, when you're buying and reselling shops. I know when people talk about ways to make money in Entropia, I'm surprised they don't go into the real estate more, because really, how many globals are you going to get in the game that give you that kind of profits, right? Like, fucking, my sales of shops have rivaled some of the best Hall of Fames in Entropia, I imagine. Now, I think my biggest turnaround in buying and selling shops was I was going on to the Arcadia auction. Here, maybe I'll do some more running around action. I'll show you how to get a tour of my shop in a bit. First, I'll finish what I was talking about. Yeah, what I was saying is, like, if you go my record for turnaround, I really should have kept records for it. I think at one point I used to keep records of my Entropia transactions in a text file, but then I just got lazy, stopped updating it, and forgot where I even saved the text file. And that was before Google Documents came out. So it was on one of my old hard drives on an old computer I don't use anymore. To think of it, I'm pretty sure I know the one. I just gave it to my buddy this week. Alright, so if you're on FOMA, I recommend going to the VIP track stand if you want to use some terminals like the auction. And the reason I'm going here to show you the auction is I'll show you how to buy and resell shops. Or not the only way, but some of the ways that I use. So obviously you're playing Entropia, you know what a fucking auction terminal looks like. If you don't, then you're higher than me. Come on, man. Try to smoke less weed. Alright, so what you do is you go up to, say, Arcadia, and I'm pretty sure it was either on the Arcadia auction, or maybe it was on the global auction. Well, either way, when I was on Arcadia, I was using the auction and checking out the Arcadia homepage. Like, fuck, I hate how Entropia, each planet has stuff going on, but they really only give you the news from that planet when you log in. They don't tell you what's going on other planets, because I guess those people want to keep you on their planet, right? And anyways, so they don't tell you unless you're there. So I was on Arcadia, and they're like, hey, we're going to be selling some shops today. And how it worked out was I was all fucking pissed off because I just lost an auction bid to Doc, and he bought one of the stables on Rocktropia. So I had sold a whole bunch of my Calypso land deeds, built up, I forget, like 30,000 pet or something, and I wanted to buy the stable, and then fucking Doc outbid me at the last second. I had the highest bid going the whole fucking time. I think he even upped my bid a few times, hoping that he wasn't going to keep upbidding me, and then, yeah, Doc outbid me. But I was so disappointed that I lost that. I'm like, hey, I should take this loss and look at it as maybe one of those Chinese farmer tales where something bad happened, but maybe it was leading you to something better and you just haven't realized it yet. So I'm like, fuck, I'm going to take this money and go invest in something happening in Arcadia instead of Rocktropia, because I lost the stable. Fucking hell. Anyways, yeah, so I lost the stable, went to Arcadia, and decided to start placing bids on shops that they were selling. And this was the time that Arcadia was selling the shops for, oh yeah, the Underground. So I was like, I've never owned a shop in Arcadia. I've always wanted one, and they're selling some Arcadia Underground shops. I didn't even know where they were. I hadn't even been to Arcadia Underground at this point. I'm like, so pissed about the fucking losing the stable. I'm like, let's bid on the fucking shops. So I started placing bids on multiple shops, lost a whole bunch of the auctions, and then one of the last auctions that went through, I got a low bid in and won. I was like, holy fuck, I picked up an Arcadia Underground shop for, I think it was around 4,000 pet or something. I was like, shit, this is worth a lot, because all the other Arcadia shops on that same area were going for like 20 or 30,000 pet. And somehow I fucking managed to pick one up on auction for 4,000. So I was like, whoo, that was fucking sick. I was like, holy. Here I was all pissed about the stable, and now my fucking luck has changed. So what I did is I went down to the Arcadia Underground, fucking checked to see what my fucking shop was, and God was my mind blown. I can't remember if it happened in the same order. It was a few years ago. But how it went was Arcadia, yeah, I should show you guys. When they started selling their Arcadia Underground deeds, at first it began that they were selling them on the auction terminal, I think. And then they moved the sales from that, like it was on the global auction. Or no, it was, yeah, I think it began at the Arcadia Underground dealer. They said, hey, they're going to sell their Arcadia Underground deeds from a specified dealer. And he looked just like a shopkeeper like that, like an auction terminal, except he was in the Arcadia Underground. So I'm like, okay, let's go check where the booth I bought is. Lo and fucking behold, my booth turned out to be the one right next to the fucking Arcadia Underground dealer. I was like, whoa, it's like talk about prime real estate fucking location, right? It's like, oh god, it's like that Chinese farmer tale is true. It's like you can take a disaster and fucking turn it into fucking solid gold, right? So anyways, I'm like, let's check and see if I can sell Arcadia Underground deeds at the booth right next to the official dealer. And lo and behold, you could, and there was like fucking, you didn't need a shopkeeper. You could just put them on the shelf right next to the fucking guy standing there. I think I got some pictures in my archive. I should have got it ready for this show, but I didn't realize I'd be talking about it. But yeah, but anyway, so what I did is I fucking bought up a whole shitload of Arcadia Underground deeds for under the price that dealer was selling them for, and then I just put them for sale for 1 ped underneath the Entropia price, like the official dealer. And what do you know, my fucking shop was selling fucking Arcadia Underground deeds like crazy. I fucking was like, at one point I think I was selling like 10, 20 a day. And it was like, I forget how much the markup I was making. And I think Entropia started to wise up to this, because they're like, why isn't our Arcadia Underground dealer selling very many? And then they come down and see my shop right next to it, fucking undercutting them. I was like, holy, how the fuck did I manage that? So I milked that situation for quite a while. I can't remember how many months that went on for. And it's like, and that's not really an exploit. It's like, that wasn't my fault. I didn't know that I was buying the shop right next to it, and it's not against the rules to undercut Mindark, is it? Hope not, or I'd just fucking get myself banned. Yeah, and then the other crazy shit to that was Arcadia fucking was selling sweat for a really high price. I think I was selling sweat for 3 ped a K, and I was selling like 100K of that a fucking week, or even a day sometimes. So I was like, holy shit, I was buying sweat for like 1 or 2 ped a K, can't remember. Must have been around 1.5, and then reselling it for 3, so I was doubling all my money on sweat sales. I was like, holy shit. So I fucking milked the Arcadia sales and the fucking, I forget how many months it went on. And I have to say, that was my all-time best shop experience. Oh yeah, and then the sale from that too. Like, people wanted that shop so bad because they could tell how much it was fucking selling like crazy. Like, I think right as soon as you went to the Arcadia Underground location, the fucking teleporter put you facing right to my shop too. So almost anyone who went to the Arcadia Underground deed was going to see my shop first. So I put a ridiculously high price, and then someone came to me, was rich, and they're like, yep, I'll just pay any price. I'm like, what? You're going to pay my full price for the shop? They're like, yep. I'm like, thank God. I think I sold it for like 40,000 ped or something. I was like, holy shit, that was a fucking turnaround of profit. 4,000 ped turned into 40,000 ped. So I don't know how many people have had Hall of Fames in the game like that, but not to brag, but I've had a lot of shitty experiences in Entropia. It was nice to finally get something in my favor. No, and what did I do with all that money? It's like I ended up reinvesting it, buying more shops and deeds. Yeah, so if you're interested in starting off, like selling shops, you're probably not going to have the luck of buying new shops on the Arcadia planet or any other planet that's booming for cheap. That might have been a fluke. But you never know. You can keep your lookout. You might get lucky like I did there. Yeah, and then maybe in the future, like, I suggest subscribing to, what is that one guy who runs Entropia Zine? It's like a magazine for Entropia. I'll try to get the links for it and put it in the description. If anyone has them, they could put them in the chat. Help save me looking it up. I'm really bad with finishing stuff. I forget half the time. So anyways, yeah, if you want to start off, something you actually can do is buy one of these FOMA shops. What was it, Monria? They used to have really good shops that are just like this, and they used to be around the same price. I did the same thing where I bought a fucking shop for like, I forget, 2,000 ped or something, and then ended up reselling it for around 20,000 ped. So you can see, like, just like real life, you know how fucking real estate agents usually make fucking huge commission off reselling stuff? And the reason is because house prices are so fucking high that if you take a percentage of that, even a small percentage is still going to be shitloads of money. So you just apply that same principle to Entropia. Like, hey, if I'm playing Entropia and I want to make some money, that's what you need, just to buy some fucking some real estate that's worth big coin and then collect the commission for the sale. And people say it's a bit risky, but really, depending how low you buy the fucking real estate, that's entails what your risk is going to be like. Like, to think about it, I don't know, like starting with these FOMA shops at 2,000 ped or maybe 3,000, that's not that bad of an investment, like $200 to $300 US. And people complain, oh, I don't want to invest that much money into Entropia because it's my real money. Well, fuck, use Entropia partners. I make lots of cash in Entropia partners. I've made videos, you can check my archive. I deposit like, I don't know, 1,000 ped into my Entropia account from Entropia partners once or twice a year. Maybe this year I'll go for 3 times. Pretty sure I already did it once. Yeah, so if you're wanting to do it in Entropia, buying and reselling shops, you don't even really need to invest money. You could do it the long way with Entropia partners. And shit, if you're really good at getting referrals, you could probably rake in fucking 10 times that. Entropia partners offers referrals. Yeah, if you have watched Entropia partner videos at all before, you've probably seen me in Sligo. And what else did I do? Oh yeah, one of those withdrawal videos. Yeah, so once you get these shops, this gives you an idea of what the size is for a shop in FOMA. It comes with 2 different space areas. This is the difference between owning a FOMA shop and a Monria shop, or Monria. I should really listen to Entropia radio so I can hear how to say this shit. Now, I used to do radio a little bit, and I listened to it all the time, and then I went overkill with it to the point where after I had my concussion, I usually don't listen to radio much at all anymore. Unless someone else puts it on. Alright, so you get item spaces indoors and in the display area. You can see it says 25 for the display area. On FOMA, these 2 locations, the display area and the indoors, are 1 deed. And I'll show it to you in my inventory. So here's some of my deeds. There's my FOMA shop deed. It's 1 deed for both, the front and back places. There's my other shop that I own on Rocktropia, Crunk stall. I almost did a legendary sale for it, but I fucking just kept it. Because I fucking love that shop. But I'll get into that in a minute. No, so, yeah, as I was saying, oh yeah, the 2 areas. So here's the area in the front of my shop in FOMA, and I can put stuff here and put it for sale. But when you buy a shop on Monria, your shop has 2 deeds. One for the front of the store and one for the back part. And they ask you when you sell the fucking shop to only sell both deeds to one person. So that 2 people don't own one shop, like the front and back. And I thought that whole system was really fucked up. Because I was thinking about selling or just renting the front of my shop out. It's like a great way to do it. That's one thing I knock about Entropia shops, is it even says, like in that lobby there, rent shops. But there is no way to rent a shop out, like legally in Entropia. What do I mean by that? Is like there's no way I can give someone a deed and take it back from them by force. So technically, if I want to rent a shop to someone, A, you have to trust them enough that you can give them items and they'll just give them back to you on like the honor system. Like say, hey, I'll rent you this item, give it back to me once you're done renting it. And you wouldn't be surprised how many times in Entropia people try renting shops. And what happens is some sort of dispute occurs where the person won't give the deed back. And then the shop owner will be like, hey, why aren't you giving me my shop back? Your rental period's over. And the person will say, oh, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought the rental period price was me buying the shop. And then they just don't give the deed back. So you can see where this creates a lot of problems trying to rent shops. I was thinking if Entropia was really cool, they would release an update for shop owners. So there was a way that we could keep our deed, but sign over to control to people for a fee. Like using this auction terminal or store shop terminal. So once that fee period expires, then they would lose control of the shop. And what would happen is any items that they had for sale would just automatically transfer back to their inventory. So if any Entropia designers are listening to videos or recommendations from shop owners what they should do to improve shops, that would be a major advantage. Because then I could actually rent my shops out. See, technically right now, as a shop owner, the only way I can make money as a shop owner in Entropia is buying and reselling shops. You may wonder, like, do I make a lot of money in actual sales in the shop? I'll get to that. It's really up to you how much work you want to put into it. Like you've probably noticed throughout the game, there's different signs and terminals. Some of them you can rent ad space and they'll play them throughout the whole game. So people can say, hey, or you can write an ad saying, come to my shop, I sell this item. The odds of people just like walking into your shop by random is pretty low. I'll show you how my sales break down for that. Yeah, there's this thing called the PED Flow Center. If you own a shop, you want to put that into your readily available icons. And you probably already heard of it before if you own deeds, because that's also where you collect your deeds revenue. So because I own a shop or multiple shops, they'll show me a list when I click user shop income. And now it'll start giving me all my shop sales. And most of these FOMA shop sales are just people that walked in randomly, because I don't actually advertise this one. Why I don't? I guess I'm pretty lazy. One of my best friends died in Entropia in real life, so it's kind of been making me a little depressed to play the game. But I'm getting over it, and it's starting to be more enjoyable to play Entropia again. I actually took a break and played some cell phone games for a while and did tutorials for that, just so I could sort of get my mind off his loss, or his passing. But now, I think what kind of made me sad too is after he died, I messaged Entropia or MindArc and told them about it. Said, hey, maybe you could give some of the money back to his family that's in his account because he'd been playing for like a decade. They were nice about it and said, yeah, like if his family messages in and fucking requests it, then they'll give the money back or some of it or whatever. But I don't know. I didn't even really message his family and tell him about Entropia because I was thinking maybe it'd be embarrassing for him to see, like his family would find out how much he invested into the game. So I just didn't message him. But it's crazy to think about it, eh? He has like, I don't know, probably $10,000 US in his account and it's just all going to go back to Entropia. Or MindArc. I imagine that's probably why they have the game system set up like that, is when people die in real life in the game, in most cases, they just get all their money back into the game. But I can see why they do it that way too. It is a business after all, and if they don't make harsh decisions, and they'll probably go bankrupt and we won't have any game. Especially the way they buy and resell castles. They need to work on their real estate skills. If anyone hasn't heard, I think that McCormick guy does quite a few good articles about Entropia's buying and reselling real estate in real life and how that went. Gotta give you a hint. Didn't go so well. Now, to be fair, I think buying and reselling real estate in real life is a lot harder, because I've tried that too and it sucks. Your property can be worse than you thought and can keep breaking while you own it. Fucking all the property taxes and shit. See, that's a nice thing. Oh, I should cover that. Like, when you own a shop in Entropia, I'll get back to what I was talking about there. Hopefully I'll remember. Yeah, if you go to your FOMA shop and you check to see, it says a maintenance fee may be charged for owning the shop. I think that's what happened when Entropia first released real estate. They were like, hey, we can not only release real estate, but charge people maintenance fees just for owning a shop. And it didn't go so well. I'm pretty sure shop ownership tanked because people didn't want to keep paying those fees, or people just complained about it. I think that was before my time. So I didn't actually find out why the Entropia removed the fees. But it's sort of like the chips, on unlimited chips, how they say they might eventually have decay, but right now they don't. So that's the current situation with owning shops. There is no fee that you have to pay to own them, but it's set up that it used to have a fee. So hopefully that never changes back and I start getting fees to own my shops. That'd be horrible, but yeah, so right now that's the advantage. You don't need those. And yeah, so that answers the question. A lot of people keep asking, is there any sort of fee? Oh yeah, there is one other fee though. When you're owning a shop, people are like, hey, now I don't have to pay auction fees. Owning a shop is the ultimate. But there is a catch to that. It's like when you buy and resell. Here, I'll show you an item. When you're buying and reselling an item with your shop, there comes a fee, just like the auction fee. So when I own a shop and I sell it, I pay this fee for this sale to the person who owns the mall. Or I guess, in this case, whoever owns FOMA. So that must be the sick part. I hope one day I get rich enough in Entropia that I can buy an entire place, like buy an entire mall, and then collect the tax. I don't know, that would be way out of my league, I think. I'd have to sell quite a few shops. But, and I don't even know how often malls go for sale. Anyone want to post in the chat? There's probably a way to look it up. What's the price that, like, Twin Peaks Mall sold for, Emerald Lakes Mall? You can own the entire mall and then rent out. Well, you're not renting, you just collect the tax from all your shops in it, or all the shopkeepers that own shops in your mall. Yeah, see, that's what they should do. Adapt the mall ownership system to each individual shopkeeper so that they can also rent shit out. Yeah, that'd be sick. But anyway, so yeah, there is no way to avoid the auction fee. It is less than the auction fee, I believe, in every case to sell at a shop, but there is still that fee. But the advantage, obviously, is this fee is only a one-time fee when it sells. Unlike the auction on Entropia, where you have to pay constantly to keep it on the auction. You can't just have it on the auction for years without paying shitloads in fees, right? Whereas with a shop, I can keep an item here for, like, say 10 years. Never have to pay auction fee to have it showing listed. Or showing for people to see the price. Which covers the next thing. One of the updates in shops came. You can just move your mouse over and I'll show you the price and markup and everything. Which is amazing. Because as a shopkeeper before, when I had my concussion really bad, it was taking me months to try to figure out how to stock my store. Because I would look at a shelf full of items, I couldn't remember which ones I had priced and which ones I hadn't. So I'd have to go over the entire fucking shop, 200 items individually, opening and checking the price to see if I had priced everything in the shop. It was a nightmare. So now, thank God, I can just move my mouse over and see which ones I've priced and which ones I haven't. But yeah, and there was some sort of glitch going where I couldn't price items, or some of them. And now I figured out how to solve that glitch. Or at least I figured it out before and then forgot, so I'm hoping I can remember again. Now, as you can tell, my concussion is still not the greatest. It's healed almost like 99%, but I'm still having quite a little bit of lingering symptoms. I can tell that most of it is over with because before I couldn't even look at a screen for more than a couple hours, and now I use 3 screens again. It doesn't bother me at all. So, still recovering. Now, they say if you ever have a concussion, you're getting frustrated, not to get too frustrated because sometimes it can take years and years to recover. I even tried some chiropractor neck adjustments and they seem to speed it up a little. I heard Sidney Crosby claiming that's what helped his, so I gave it a try. And I think I tried 2 or 3 different chiropractors and got varying results, but it did have some results. I think it only made my neck worse once. Alright, so another advantage to when you buy these FOMA shops is it gives you 2 floors. The Monterey shop does that too. They give you 2 floors also. I have to say, visually, the Monterey shops, whoever designed those, fucking looks amazing. Like, if I could go back in time and keep that shop, I probably would, even though I made such huge profits selling it. Because that was a fucking sweet real estate. But this one's a nice start. And you can tell when you buy this shop, it's nothing. It's just going to be the floor and the walls. I had to put these shelves on. And if anyone wants to buy one, I have it here for sale. Right now I have it about +5 over the standard markup. Basically because I want to keep this shelf, but if anyone's desperate and wants one, they can just have it for 5 over. I notice sometimes it's a little bit hard to get them, so harder to get items I'll put slightly higher markup because every once in a while someone wants to buy it and they can't anywhere else, so they'll pay the extra markup to get it. And as a shopkeeper, I need that little extra markup because I can't just keep flying around to all my shops on different planets restocking so fast. Sometimes everything sells out. But yeah, I was going to finish talking about that. So my shops for random people just walking in, I'd say is about once a month. Someone will just walk by and buy something randomly. That's for the FOMA shop. And my Camp Crunk shop, it's way more often if I put good stuff for sale. But I find a lot of times I don't have the greatest items when I'm on Rocktropia other than blueprints that everyone else already has. So I'm trying to get some better items. A lot of the times I'm reselling blueprints is because I'm a crafter, so I loot blueprints like crazy. You can probably see that I have some of the biggest blueprint print collections in the game. Well, maybe not of all types. My specialty is vehicle prints. I have quite a few of those. And I don't have all the vehicle prints, but I'm getting pretty damn close. Obviously the quad prints are pretty hard to loot. Now this shop actually comes with this shelf on the wall. So my plan was I was going to merge, I think they're all merged. Oh, they weren't. Alright, there we go. So that was another huge update in the game, as I was fucked before when I was trying to sell my blueprints, because I had shitloads of fucking copies of like 1 or 2 clicks each, and it was just loading my inventory to the point where I had each planet's storage like maxed, I think, and the planets that had more than 1 storage, I had them all maxed. So I'd have Rocktropia's storage maxed, the Ice World storage maxed, the storage on Next Island on Rocktropia maxed. I just kept maxing all my fucking storages because I can't keep selling these prints fast enough. And like, people don't want to buy a fucking 1,000 clicks of something when all the clicks are 1 or 2 and it's going to take up like 1,000 points in their fucking inventory. Like, sure, you got the blueprint books and all, but it was still ridiculous. So thank God, one of the updates, now we can stack blueprints. So now I can sell a blueprint of like, say, fucking PRX or whatever, and sell 1,000 of the clicks all in one print. I don't have to fucking stack up huge shit. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to put my entire PRX collection for sale in my shop. If anyone wants to help support me and my videos, they can definitely come in and buy these vehicles. And if you shop at my shop, you'll likely have the market cornered for having the most of them. I don't think anyone else is selling this many stacks of them, but... And if anyone... Well, people often ask me, like, how the hell did I get so many of these? It's like a lot of the crafting runs I do are about 1,000 ped, or even 1,500 ped now. Started to increase it. So when you're doing that big of crafting runs, and then this is how many prints I've saved up, like over 3 to 5 years, I think. A lot of the times I couldn't sell them, so I've just been banking them for like 5 years. It's like when you're doing 1,000 ped fucking crafting runs for vehicle shit, and you do it for 5 years, you're gonna save up quite a few prints, right? I wonder how many, there must be other people that have saved this many. I'm sure I'm not the biggest vehicle crafter in the game. Although if you check my archive, I did win Crafting Mania. I still haven't sold the reward for it because I love the reward and I just want to keep it. I have bad hoarding issues that I inherited. I'm gradually trying to get rid of all my stuff now because I collected too much stuff in my house too. I have fucking crap loads of like collectible fucking stuff that I bought at conventions. Unopened action figures that are signed. Some of them are like 20 years old now, so... I started going back into the conventions back in the 90s, I think. No, Star Trek conventions used to be way smaller. Hey, check out the Slepners. Anyone want to build some spaceships? I got almost 2,000 clicks for you. Now, the Bonzo Slim Jims, I wish I had more clicks of those, because this print is fucking worth a lot. Like, check out the Markup. I think I even sold it for 30,000 at one point, and people are still buying it. And why? Is because it allows you to loot some of the fucking... the cars that are all over Rocktropia. And then when you loot those, they're just like chests. So you use the Slim Jim, open it, and you get a whole bunch of loot, and it's random. I'm pretty sure it's random. And some of the loot they give you has huge markup. So that's why these Slim Jims blueprints are worth so much. Anyways, I'm going to keep putting my PRX collection here. And if anyone's wondering how I keep track of items on so many planets and storage, what I use is the Entropia website. It has a section where you can go into your account and it'll show you all that shit. I'll see if I can open it with and show you guys what it looks like. Holy, it caused me to lag pretty bad. Yeah, so what you do is you go to entropiauniverse.com in a section your account, and I'll just log in and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Now, I guess this is some pretty private information I'm sharing with everyone, but it'll give you guys an idea, and I don't really care about privacy too much. I try to be as least private as possible so I don't get myself into trouble. Everyone can help watch me. Keep an eye on me. Now it's like the Santa Claus myth. He's always watching you, right? You tell that to your kids so that they have less temptation to try to do shit. Right, so hopefully this doesn't show too much of my... Yeah, I shouldn't show that page. Alright, so it says for my account created, it was in 2008, December 27th. So that was quite a while ago. What else? Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys the items. Pretty sure I can show you that without any issues. Alright, so if you go into your items list, it'll start to show you how much each item is worth and what planet it's on. So this is nice. Now you can see, like, keep track of all the items on all your planets. So if you're one of those people like me who's maxed the storage out on every planet, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it'll show you how much it's worth, how many rows, and this is just the trade terminal value. So technically it could be worth a lot more because a lot of those things are going to be deeds, and it's only going to show 1 peck for it. And you know that a deed is worth more than 1 peck. Yeah, and if you want to sort stuff now, you can do it by clicking the top. I was thinking, thank God, I used to have that problem where I had so many items on so many different planets, and I didn't know which ones were worth money to go pick up to, like, repool my PED together. So now I can just click up and it'll show me what's my highest PED value items and where they are, what planets they're located. Yeah, and it shows your transaction history and stuff. Guess I won't show all that to brag, but it's nothing really that good. I'm sure John Neverdie would have one that could really put people's to shame, right? I don't know, how much does Neverdie deposit into Entropia versus his withdrawal? I think my ratio, I deposited around 2 to 3,000 US, and then I withdraw it around, forget, I think it must be under 20,000 US, but not by much. And it wasn't all at once, so we staggered the withdrawals out over quite a few years. Now the trick really, if you want to make money in Entropia Shops, is one of the best ways. Because if you compare the profits to this, then just taking the chance of looting something while hunting, it's pretty fucking risky to do that, right? I know a lot of people that try to get rich in Entropia quick. It's not really the greatest plan, because a lot of these plans are going to take years to play out. Yeah, like how long did I keep the shops when I bought and resold them? Was a question I get quite a bit. It varies on the shop. Like I think that Arcadia one I kept for maybe a year. Could be more or less. It's been so many years ago, it's hard to remember. But I think that I sold that one at its peak value because I was like, shit, at one point everything on Arcadia might crash, so I better sell it while it's at its peak. And then the Monria shop, I believe I kept that one for a couple years. Oh yeah, Camp Crunk. Fuck, my items are just... You ever get that where the items menu sticks? So you have to close it or it just fucking you can't control it? Yeah, Camp Crunk is one of my favorite shops. Big shout out to the players who sold it to me. If she ever needs some help with anything like selling items at the shop, maybe I could try to give her discounts on PRX stuff. But no, she hooked me up with the shop many years ago. Restriction date, yeah, I bought it in 2013. Yeah, so that's cool. It shows you how long you've owned the shop for. Yeah, so let's check. I've owned this one on FOMA since 2015? You gotta be shitting me. That can't be the sale date. Because I thought I bought it just before I got my concussion. That was around 2017 or 18. Yeah, 18. So now the restriction date doesn't always show you when you bought the shop. I guess that's how long the person had it restricted and tried to sell it for. So it took them quite a few years to sell it. Yeah, if you resell the shops on the auction, I was going to tell you and explain that. The chances of reselling it and making a good profit on the Entropia auction, like the official one, is probably pretty slim. Because most players that go in there are looking for deals. They're not looking to bid crazy high. But if you sell it privately, like just in the chat, or someone messages in the group chat below, they're like, I want to buy a shop, does anyone have one? If you message to them, they're probably rich, looking to spend large coin compared to the person in the auction. So that's my recommendation when you go to resell, is try to resell it in private. And you don't have to pay all the auction fees. And if you sell big ticket items like that, there'll be massive auction fees. Alright, so there is so much really to go over with an Entropia shop, right? What did I all forget to cover? I was going to do this show with a live stream so that people could ask questions as we go. But really, my viewers are still, what, I only have 600 subscribers. Not even, 570, I believe. So I still have a ways to go before I can do popular live streams. Which reminds me, I can turn this off. Sorry, I hate it when I do that. I'm going to have to talk to the owners of the XSplit software and recommend that they don't keep that text message always on. Like, sure, it's good to know that I'm not connected till that's going to do it, but they shouldn't leave that message on my stream the whole time. It's fucking annoying. But you can turn it off if you're paying attention. If. Big if. Yeah, so I was just saying, I was talking about that chick who sold me the awesome shop on Rocktropia. I can't remember how much I sold it to her for, or bought it. I think it was around 4 CLDs. And then I got a fucking killer offer, another one like 40,000 ped for it. But I decided to keep it because I'm like, shit, man. The shop on Rocktropia I've had since, what was it, 2012? Or 2013? So man, I've like loved that shop. And it's so nice because Doc, the guy who ended up buying the, what was it, the stable from me? He was even so nice that he was hosting events there all the time. So I had tons of people gathering for the events when they were all gathering right at my shop. So I was like, I must have had like almost like 50 players standing in front of my shop every Sunday. Now that's what you call foot traffic. So big shout out to Doc. Sorry for getting so mad about losing the bid to you and the for that stable. Fucking worked out in the end, so I shouldn't be bitching. It's hard not to bitch when you're caught up in the emotions of the moment. It's like, oh, I wanted the stable so bad. No, Entropia was talking about stables being amazing, connecting it to Compet and all that shit. But then that whole plan sort of fell through. No, I feel bad for Doc. I hope he still made money off the stable. Now I'm just repacking my vaporizer here. Hope you guys don't mind. On the vaporizer menu, I got some white rhino and a little bit of drips of cannabis oil. The vaporizer I'm using is the Extreme Q, made by Airizer, a wonderful Canadian company. I was fortunate enough to meet the owners. Or owner. Now what I ended up doing is creating a modification that worked for it. That's how I ended up meeting them. Now I was going to get into selling the modification. As you can see, it's kind of neat. You just basically have a tube that sticks out. As long as you keep refilling the bowls. That tube will provide you with a vapor anytime you want it. Yeah, and the vapor that collects in this, it uses a method known as a short path distillation, which changes the air pressure, allowing the boiling point of the vapor to be lower, so that you actually gather 80% THC compared to the average burning ratio of 20%. And I believe they said it's 80% stronger than burning. I don't know. I'd have to look up the exact science, but I'll tell you, it's a bit stronger. Now, to give you an idea of how strong it is, it's like I used to smoke joints for back pain since I was like injured my back when I was a teenager. So I had a really high tolerance. Whoops. Not paying attention, I almost dripped the wrong oil. Now I have two different kinds of cannabis oil. One is a little bit more runny, so that's the one I like to use. Now, so the vaporizer lowers the boiling point of THC so that you can get more amounts out. It's very similar to the ratio of hot knives. So if anyone's tried hot knives before, like on the stove, then you know how strong the Extreme Q is. I noticed that when I was a teenager too, that if you used hot knives for hash, you got a way better buzz than just burning it. And then I guess scientifically eventually realized that it's because burning it destroys more THC than vaporizing. Now I better hurry up with packing these bowls and get back to the shop, because I got a whole bunch of stuff that I got to do today. Helping do some senior care for my uncle. Have to carry him back and forth to the washroom and help feed him, dress him. It's an interesting full-time job. He was really sick for quite a few weeks a while ago, but he's bounced back significantly. Alright, so let's get into the Entropia details. I think I've covered just about everything I wanted to do in shops. I was trying to think about anything else. User income. Yeah, so if you get your shop sales, you usually get a message in the top corner here, and it'll tell you who bought it, how much they paid, and all the information and stuff. So it's kind of nice. Sometimes I'll give my customers a shout out. Message them in the chat and say, hey man, thanks for buying some stuff at my shop. And if anyone sees stuff in my shop that they want to buy and they think the price is too high, well, it usually is, because I'm trying to mark it up and a little bit higher than auction. So I also have room for negotiation. So just message me and say, hey, I like this blueprint. I want, say, like 300 clicks instead of 5,000, and I want to pay this much. Can you do it? And I'll be 90% of the time I'll say yes, unless it's some ridiculously low price. But as you can tell, I have so many blueprints that I can really go way under the auction. So big shout out to anyone who does pay full price and just help me out. But if you want it for cheaper, just message and I'll hook you up. And if you're wondering if I'm telling the truth, just ask Yoshi. I think I hooked her up with a good deal on some thruster prints. Although I try not to sell too many thruster prints because they can crash the market. If anyone has a whole bunch of thruster prints, try not to sell too many of them. No, I think we had the thruster price around 4,000 a print, and then it dropped down to like 2,000, then went back up to like 37, then it was like back down to 2,500. I try to sell it around anywhere between 3,500 and 4,000. That's where I like to sell them, just because they're so hard to loot. and just using them yourself, like those thrusters, I think they're a really good print to use. Yeah, there's a couple different guys that own shops that fucking sell thrusters, so I started hooking up with them to sell them the prices, give them the deals on the thruster prints. So if you want to start a shop and sell prints, you know the guy to fucking talk to, right? Like, I could probably hook you up cheap enough prints that you could start a shop selling the results. Now, my specialty is mainly vehicle prints. I used to be really into clothing prints. Maybe I'll get into that next, or should I make it another video? Yeah, this one's almost an hour, so we'll make that the next video. If you guys want me to make more Entropia videos, put it in the comments, and I can keep making them. Because that Clone Evolution game was pretty good for a while, but my viewers have pretty much stopped watching my show. I have maybe 5 or 6 dedicated nice viewers, but Entropia's got a pretty sweet, huge community, and I really appreciate all the players that have already been sharing my videos. I think a few of them gave me shoutouts. Fuck, can't even remember everyone's names. But yeah, and if there's anything that I didn't cover about shops that you wanted me to answer, go right ahead, post it. I'm one of those YouTubers that if I get questions, I usually read them every day. And I can make a video every day, so shouldn't have to wait too long for a response. Unless I get something going on. The way the lockdown situation's still going where I live, there's really no options for even going out and meeting people, so the online community is where it's at. Yeah, I think that's everything for shops. Oh, and if you're wondering what items you can sell in shops, pretty much any item that's tradable. And if you want to sell Calypso land deeds or vehicles, you're going to need a shopkeeper. If you put a shopkeeper in your shop, then you can start putting those items for sale. But if you just try to put a vehicle on the shelf, obviously it's not going to let you spawn it. So that was pretty much it for this shop. Oh, and all the shops that I've owned before. I think I owned Emerald Lakes Mall, Floor 2, Shop 3. It was like one of the small ones. Well, and that's one of the questions people get too, is when you buy a shop in the mall, are they all the same? And usually mall shops will go in 2 different classes. They'll have large and small. Maybe there's a medium, someone could correct me if I'm wrong. So when you're buying mall shops, watch for that. And the difference for that is, I think, like double the size of the shop. Small shop will be around 200 items, big shop around 500. Or it could be 3 and 7, something like that. And then when it comes to buying these shops on FOMA, they're all the same size. So don't get tricked into thinking that there's a large and small on FOMA. Unless I'm wrong about that, someone put it in the chat if I am. Maybe there is a bigger one. And Monria shops, they were all the same size. The shop that I owned in the Arcadia Underground, it was, I think, around 30 item points. I think all those ones were the same size, but I've heard rumors that you can upgrade the shops to larger sizes if you pay Entropia, like Mindark, money. Someone want to correct that in the chat too. I'd be interested to find out. And where else did I own shops? So yeah, the Omegaton apartment complex. I used to buy and sell a few of the shops in the lobby there. I did have a few apartment shops, but I won't count those as shops. Yeah, the Monria shops. I believe I had 2 in Monria, or maybe even 3 at one point I was owning. I had like a whole section of the fucking place. I can't believe I sold all of them. God damn it. But it was so tempting, right? Like you buy it for 2,000, someone offers you 20,000. How can you not take it, right? Like you'd almost be crazy not to. Like me in the Camp Crunk shop. Now, someone was asking me how much I would take for the Camp Crunk shop since I didn't already take a ridiculously high offer. I was thinking, I don't even want to give it an amount in case someone did. I'd be like, no, my shop. I guess, yeah, we'll make it $1 million. Yeah, someone gave me, we'll make it 1,000,000 ped, so it's not even that ridiculous. Someone wants to pay me 1,000,000 ped, then I'll sell it. So that way I could break, like, Never Die's record. Or what is his record? Yeah, if anyone wants to help break the Never Die record, help contribute by buying my Camp Crump shop for 1,000,000 ped. Wait, I'll have to check the Never Die record. Don't quote me on that price yet. It has to be higher than Never Dies. Oh yeah, do you want to hear an interesting story about the Camp Crunk shop? I should finish the show with that. If you've noticed at Camp Crunk, the layout of that shop area has changed. What happened before, I guess I should even get into it deeper. When it comes to owning a shop like Camp Crunk, you might be thinking, like, it's ridiculous. Why would you even ask for 1,000,000 fucking ped? It's stupid. Yeah, and partially you're right, but no, there is one slight reason that somewhat makes it fucking plausible. Is I'll show you. There's some catches to the shops that you own on Rocktropia that I could be wrong, but I don't believe there's ones like this anywhere else in the game. And what I'm talking about is a website that I'm trying to open while I talk, but talking is making it harder to concentrate and find which one it is. But I think I've almost found it. Anyways, Never Die set up these, he's got different websites. Ah, there it is. So yeah, there's Rocktropia.com, and he has different things that you can do online that affect the game of Entropia that you can only do on his website. And currently, his website is not loading on the link that I had saved, so I'm just going to load the general website. And it says the website took too long to respond. Holy fuck, is Rocktropia's website down, huh? I would assume that it's just my computer not being able to connect, but that's messed. Alright, well, what I was going to show is Rocktropia used to have a website that you could do stuff on. Oh, here's one of them. I might have found a link that works. Oh no, it looks like... No, it looks like the Never Die Wall website is down. Rocktropia.com is down. Oh, boy. But hopefully that's just temporary. He's got his America VR game or whatever. It looks like website is still up and running. So hopefully you'll have the Rocktropia ones running. But what I was going to say is that on Rocktropia, there's a website, used to be, that you could go and unlock different abilities, like an instance within your shop, that only you get the limited blueprints for, to make the keys to get into the instance. So technically, when you unlock this instance, it doesn't give you a way to charge tax and collect any money from that. The only way you can profit is if you put a high price on the keys to get in. But what I heard some people complaining is once they unlocked the instance for their shop and got the blueprint to make the keys, the ingredients for the blueprint were ridiculous markups. So it was costing a fortune just for them to make one key. So in order to sell the keys at their shop, they were losing money just from the sale of the key. I was like, holy shit, that would really suck. So I'm thinking, hopefully, if that gets worked out, where the blueprints for these keys are more easily able to be constructed, then I would definitely unlock that for my shop. So I'd have my own instance. And then I could work it out with someone too and be like, hey, do you want to be an exclusive dealer to these instance keys? Be like, you'll be the only shop in Entropia that could sell the keys to get into the instance. And then what are the rewards in the instance? Because I own the Camp Crunk shop, I think it's clothing. So I get some rare clothing prints that you can only get by going into my instance. So that's one of the reasons why this shop is technically worth more than, say, your standard Omegaton booth that's 30 items. I know some people are mocking me and laughing, saying, "Ah, you moron, trying to sell the Camp Crunk shop for a higher markup," but they are partially right. Like, you could sell it for way less and people would consider it reasonable. But as being the person selling it, I'd rather just wait and try to get a higher markup and have people complain. You can't please everyone, and if you're gonna not please everyone, you might as well please yourself. That didn't finish the way I'd hoped. I swear that never happens. Okay, so that's a pretty good way to end the show. Thanks everyone for watching. No, and if you can help and share, subbing, and all that jazz for this stuff, and I'm going to put a whole bunch of links in the bottom for Entropia Partners stuff, if you could help do that. And I've done other different ways, links that you can watch TV, like YouTube, or not YouTube, Hideout TV videos to make money, and take that money and put it into Entropia. They have direct deposit things right into Entropia. Well, through Entropia Partners. I shouldn't say direct, but pretty direct. And then there's also ways to play other video games. It's basically offers. Some of the offers will pay you, like I was playing Clone Evolution, got paid a shitload of ped. So if you want to do that, it's a pretty cool cell phone game to try out. And yeah, I'll put those links in the thing below. And yeah, make sure everyone to never ever subscribe. Or no, not subscribe, to buy the products from my sponsor. I didn't even do a sponsor, so that's why. Alright, see you later. Take care. Bye for now. Catch you later.